Welcome back to Becoming Her, the podcast for the woman who is ready to step into her most magnetic, authentic, fully expressed version of herself so she can be, do, and have anything that she wants in this life. Today's episode, I am so excited for, right? Because this is such a huge part of Becoming Her, is how to be happy. How to be happy and increase your quality of life. Because your quality of life is really directly determined by your internal state. You might think that it's external things that is increasing your quality of life. Like you might be like, I'll be happy when I have a relationship. I'll be happy when I'm making X amount of money in my business. I'll be happy when I have XYZ. I've traveled to here. I've got this house. I've got this achievement, this goal, this material thing, right? But it's not true, because you can have every single thing that you want. Like you can have the relationship, you can have the house, the job, the career, and you can still feel like crap. But that's why a lot of high achieving people and execs and CEOs and all of the things, right, they aren't happy. That's why a lot of celebrities actually still, you see suicide in them, right? It's because we think that we want these things, but really what we want is happiness. We want to feel a certain way within ourselves. So today we're going to be diving into how to be happy, how to cultivate it, right? And how to unleash your magnetism, because a happy woman is a woman who is fully expressed, a woman who allows herself to be authentic. Like when you allow yourself to be fully authentic, you will be so happy, because there's nothing more liberating and freeing than allowing yourself to just be who you are. And just as the opposite, right? There is nothing more that like feeds on anxiety, on depression, on suppressedness and trappedness as feeling like you can't be yourself, right? Feeling like you are living life for everyone else and not yourself. So today we're going to be talking about living life for you, right? Pouring into you, doing things that make you happy, how to flip the energy to get into a state of joy, of happiness, right? So pull up a chair, like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, and let's dive in. So I can honestly say that, like, internally, like, I am the happiest that I have been. And I can remember, like, even like in my teenage years and stuff like I used to really feel a lot of sadness. And I used to feed into that lot of sadness, right? So like I would listen to really sad music. I would love to watch like really sad films. Like I just felt a lot of things. Like I felt a lot of emotion when I would focus more on the sadness of life rather than the joys of life. And then also like just like always worrying about what other people think of me, like really not feeling very confident in myself and just in my abilities, and always kind of looking at everything that I don't have in life rather than the things that I do have in life. And so kind of always living in this place of lack and just never really things being good enough, because I was always, because that's where my focus always was at, right? I would quite often like operate from a place of like stress and anxiety of like, well, am I like, is money going to run out? Like, is what are people going to think of me? How am I being perceived? Like, just always like stressing and worrying about things that really took away my happiness and took away my joy. And so, what I can really say is like, happiness 100% is a choice, and we can either choose to be a victim of our life, or we can choose to be a victor of our life, because we're always going to have things. There's always going to be a reason to be sad, to be angry, to be annoyed at something, but there's always also a reason to be happy in life. And so what I like if I and don't get me wrong, like as women, we are emotional creatures. And so like I know I said this last time, but it's really, I'm not saying about being stoic, right? Like we don't have to be emotionless, because I think a part of our femininity is to be able to feel everything and be able to really feel it, right? Like we feel things so deeply. So when we are sad, we feel the sadness. When we're happy, like we feel really happy. And there's nothing wrong with feeling those feelings, right? Like when we feel anger, I really feel into that, and we get to feel all of those things. But like, what is your emotional set point, right? Like, what would you say that your primary point of focus in life is? Are you a victim or are you a victor, right? Like, do you see the best out of a situation, or do you see the worst out of a situation? Are you a glass is half full or glass is half empty kind of gal, right? Like, and really have a think of that. Like, what would you, where do you think that you are right now? Like, do you see the glass as half full or do you see it as half empty? And if you do see it as half empty, then listen up, because we're going to start to change that association to seeing it as half full. And if you are a person who sees it as half full, then I love it, and just join in for the conversation. And so one thing that I do to this day, when if my emotions are like, if I wake up one day and like I'm having an off day, right, and I'm feeling a little bit sad, or things are really getting on top and I feel like things aren't working the way that I want them to, right, and I can't really get myself and move out of that funk, right? Like, gratitude is the fastest way to change your frequency, your perspective, right? Gratitude is the attitude. So write that down. Gratitude is the attitude. Gratitude is the attitude that will change your life. And so really focusing on like, what do you have to be grateful for? Because every single person in the world has something to be grateful for. Because, and I can tell you right now, if you are watching this, you have something to be grateful for, because you are alive and there is breath going in and out of your lungs. You have a smartphone to be, or a laptop, you have a device to be able to watch this on or listen to this on. And so already you are richer than so much of the world, because, you know, like they say, like, if you have £10 in your bank account, then like you're richer than 90% of the world's population. And so perspective, right? Something that I always like to bring back to, so like this perspective that I have adopted has absolutely changed how I feel about life, and I feel like the most abundant, most blessed person, the richest person ever, right? Is because when I think of, like, I've recently been learning about the early 1900s and the living conditions of them, and like, people would share a toilet with like 15 other people, right? There wasn't sewage, so people were like living amongst like feces and all of that. People didn't have the luxury of like, people didn't have the luxury of being able to have like a fully nourished diet, right? So people would be very malnourished. Whereas now, like, you can go to the supermarket and you can get anything, right? You can hit all of your nutrients because it's all there all year round, right? All of the food is available to us. Like, just our living conditions in general. Like, I just know that, like, if someone came to us in the 1900s and came now, they would be, wow, like, life is so good, right? Like, it literally is like heaven on earth. Like, everywhere is clean. Like, health, people are living so much longer. Like, there's so much more, there's so much medical advancement, right? Like, there's food in cupboards, there's central heating, like, people have their own houses, they're not living amongst a million people. Like, there's so much to be grateful for, right? And I understand as well that this is coming from a privileged perspective of living in the UK, and I know that still in some parts of the world, like, it's not like that. And so even then still, right, like, you know, like, really being grateful for what you have, considering that not everyone has it, like mobility to move. I've been suffering with postpartum arthritis, so when I wake up in the mornings, right, like, my hands are sore and stiff and like a claw, and my knees are stiff and my ankles are stiff, and I'm getting out of bed and I'm like, ah. But then, like, as I get about the day, it's gone, right? And it's like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so grateful that I can actually still move my body, because not everyone can. I'm so grateful that I have eyes to see, that I have ears to hear, because not everybody does. Like, the small things can shift your, can the focusing on the small things to be grateful for can absolutely shift how you feel in a moment and really start to bring joy into your life. It doesn't have to be finding massive things to be grateful for. Grateful that there's food in the fridge, food on the table, that there's money in the bank to be able to pay the bills, the roof over the head. Like, gratitude is the attitude. Gratitude is the attitude, and I will die on that hill. There's another hill that I will die on. Gratitude will change your life. And so anytime that I want to get myself out of a funk and I can't quite move it, pen and paper, and writing down and just don't stop and just write every single thing down, right? Like the people that you have in your life, oh my goodness, like be grateful for the family members, the friends, the opportunities, all of the things, right? And that brings me to my next point, because happiness, right? It is an inside job, but also like if there are people in your life that are not serving you, that are not feeding your best self, that are not making you feel good about yourself, if there is anyone in your life that makes you feel bad about yourself, question yourself, feel embarrassed that you can't be your full self, those people need to be let go of or distanced from, because in order to be happy, right, the recipe for happiness gets to be really simple. It gets to be, yeah, it just gets to be really simple. And so focusing on yourself and focusing on the few people in your life that actually add value to your life. There doesn't need to be a million people in your life to be happy, right? Like a few people who actually genuinely love you, care for you, and who help you become your best self is all that you need. And so if there are people that need to be let go of, let them go, right? Because when you are stepping into becoming her, right, this version of you, who is the most magnetic, authentic, and fully expressed version, like you're not going to be your most authentic self if your circle is people that you can't feel like you can be yourself around, right? Like if you feel like if people make you feel bad about yourself, feel judged, it's just we've got to cut ties with them, because every time that you choose to keep people in your life that aren't serving your highest, most important purpose, right, then you're putting other people's happiness above yourself. And that doesn't mean that you have to say all of these, give people like a piece of your mind or anything, right? But you can distance yourself from people if they are not making yourself feel good. And so putting yourself first, like this is self-love at its finest, is choosing to care more about yourself and your feelings than other people's feelings. We don't have to hurt other people's feelings, but if someone isn't serving you, then you don't have to, they don't have to be in your life. You will tap into your most magnetic, authentic, fully expressed self, right? Like you will step into becoming your best version when the people around you support that growth for you. The people around you should be absolutely like your number one cheerleaders and everything. And if they're not, then you know what to do. This, what I'm about to share with you, right? Like this has been one of the biggest game changers for me in my journey of becoming her, especially over the last few years of really allowing myself to fully be me, to fully let go of the fears of judgments of others. Does that mean that it doesn't sometimes come up like, oh, like, what do people think? It might pop up like a little bit, but then it's like, I'm not feeding that anymore, because I'm totally in love, obsessed with feeding into me in my life and just going where I want to go in life and being happy, right? And you can't fully allow yourself to be happy if you are still putting your energy anywhere else outside of yourself. And so your energy needs to be yours. And so if you are someone who overthinks things, right? If you are worried about what other people think about how you are being perceived, right? Like I totally get it, because I've been there, but also that is you putting your energy outside of yourself. And this is also in romantic relationships, right? Like if you're someone who is like dating and stuff, and if you are so focused on like what do they think of me, how am I being perceived, like am I good enough, bring your energy back into you. Because what I've noticed is like when the energy goes away from you, this is when anxiety, fear, and worry and those kind of feelings actually pop up, because you're not here, you're not present, you're not in it, right? You're outside of yourself. And so you're casting your energy elsewhere and you're giving your energy to other places. When you can bring your energy back, like this is when you'll start to come back to feeling grounded, feeling peace, being able to feel the joy, because you are back here focused on you in this now moment of what is here, of what is here. And so like if there is the opinions of people that you have of like, I wonder what they think of me, or like if you feel like you are being left out of a group, right? Or if you are like showing up online and you feel like you are putting on a mask and performing in a certain way to like get in with a bit of a click, because definitely in the online space, like I feel like this can happen, and I definitely don't want to blame any industry, because I think this is where radical responsibility comes in, of like taking responsibility for our own happiness and our own joy and our own self-expression. But if there's anything that you are worrying about, right, in terms of like what will people think, people how will people react, respond, perceive me? If these people that you are worrying about the opinions of are not someone that you would call and celebrate some good news with, then they don't even matter. And so please let it go, right? You've got to be able to just let it go, because you can focus on all of that. But if they aren't someone that, if you have something really good to share, you wouldn't pick up the phone and think to celebrate with them straight away. They're not important, right? Like, they just aren't important in your life to you. They clearly aren't adding something, because if they were, then they would be someone that you would want to share your good news with. When you are worried too much about what other people think, how you are being perceived, and you are keep on putting your energy outside of yourself, right? And you're casting your energy there and you're there, and your focus is over there, and you're not here, and you're not bringing your energy back into you. It's so easy to end up living your life for other people, or for the approval of others, or just through the expectation of others, right? And this is where then we really take our own happiness away, and we start doing things for other people and really sacrificing and really giving ourselves, right? Like, have you ever been in a relationship, like in a romantic relationship, but also like a family dynamic, a friendship dynamic, where like you have poured so much into and you do so much for them, and you don't feel like you get that level of care back? And so, but what you're actually really trying to do is you're trying to win this person over. you it's manipulative, right? Like, you're actually, like, whether you like it or not, like, you're trying to manipulate a situation and get something back from someone, and they're not giving that back to you, and then you end up feeling resentment. You feel not good enough, you feel sad, you feel like people don't love you the way that you love them, and it builds up all of these feelings around you again, right? Whereas if you actually took that energy that you are putting into other people and you put that energy into you, you'll be really happy, right? Because as you have you ever heard the saying of like, you can't pour from an empty cup? Like, you have to fill yourself up first. And so when you fill yourself up first, you end up giving to others through overflow. And so then when you are fulfilled and happy within yourself first, you can do things for other people, and it doesn't matter if you don't get something back from them, if they aren't pouring back to you, because you're not doing it from a place of trying to get, because you're already fulfilled, you're already happy, so you're not doing things for other people trying to get back something that's going to make you feel good enough, that's going to make you feel happy, that's going to make you feel loved, because you already feel those things within yourself, because you give it to yourself. And when you give it to yourself, right, then nobody else can take it away from you. And so then you're not at the beck and call of other people's actions. Your happiness is cultivated from within. And then this is when you tap into being a magnetic freaking woman who gets to be fully authentic. Because does someone misunderstands you, someone misjudges you, it's okay. I am so happy with me, and I am able and happy to just cut ties with people who don't serve me at my highest expression. I am so happy to cut ties with people who don't support me in the things that I want to do, in the person that I'm becoming. When you start pouring into yourself, you will start to notice that there are maybe certain friendships where, okay, you know what, actually, I feel like I'm the one who's always pouring into that friendship, and maybe I'm just going to take a step back to see if there's actually any reciprocal energy there. And that can give you your answer as well, of like, if you take a step back and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and I'm going to see if they reach out to me, I'm going to see if they suggest that we do something, because it always seems to be me being the person to do it, always seems to be me being the one who instigates the conversation. Take a step back, and you'll soon see if that is actually someone who is also pouring into you. And so when you bring your energy back to you, right, like, your happiness isn't dictated on whether or not like somebody else has shown up for you, on whether or not like people are pouring into you. You're able to actually really give to yourself, and it doesn't matter if someone doesn't believe in you, if they don't support you, if you realize that, you know what, this person actually, the better you treat yourself, the less crappy behavior you're going to tolerate from other people. And so you most likely are going to end up distancing yourself from people, because you will start to realize that you won't allow anyone to not match the energy that you match yourself with. And this is personal growth, baby. This is what happens when we start to pour into ourselves, when we start to grow, when we start to become a better version of ourselves. The circle absolutely gets smaller and smaller and smaller because we start to realize, you know what, maybe these people aren't actually as supportive of me as I once thought. There's a lot of times when people like the version of you where you are in the struggle, right? Where you are in the drama. And when you come out of the drama, you will see that maybe it's like those same people, they might distance themselves from you. You keep going the course, right? You keep pouring into yourself. You feed your happiness. You do the things that make you happy, which is my last point of this podcast, right? Is do things that make you happy, right? Don't wait for other people to do them with you, right? Like if you love going to the beach, go to the beach. If you love going out for food and you don't have anyone to go out for food right now, go and eat by yourself. Oh my goodness. Like I'm so happy to go and eat in a restaurant on my own. It doesn't faze me. And I'll remember, right, the first time I started eating out on my own was when I moved to Austin, Texas. And I didn't know anyone, right? I didn't know anyone, but I 100% wanted to explore Texas and I wanted to explore Austin, right? I was 21. This was one of the actual, this was actually one of the most pivotal moments for me actually starting to allow myself to become fully expressed because and become like myself in a such deeper version of self-love that we will dive into on another episode. But because I didn't have anyone to do things with, I had to do a lot of things on my own or just not experience it, right? But I was going to get the absolute most out of that year of being there. And so I wasn't going to wait until I had friends. I wasn't going to wait until I had people to experience things with. I was just going to do it. So I started going out and eating on my own. And I would sometimes take my phone, I would FaceTime friends, family members at these restaurants. Sometimes I would just sit there and like sit outside and I would just watch people on the streets and eat. And honestly, now like it doesn't even it doesn't faze me, it doesn't make me think twice about going to eat on my own. And sometimes like people still go like, oh my gosh, I could never go and eat on my own. And for me it's such a normal thing now. I'm like, if I'm hungry, if I want to eat somewhere and I've got no one to go with, like I'm absolutely going. Like it's a thing. And so do things that make you happy. Do them alone, right? Allow yourself to do it on your own. Like, I mean, I would go as far as solo travel on my own, right? I want to go to these places. I've got no one who wants to go. All of my friends are either in relationships or working, don't have the time off. Like, I'm not going to wait for someone to go on these things. Like, if I want to go to these places, I'm just going to go and I have the time in my life. But it doesn't have to be as extreme as like traveling to another country on your own, but do things that make you happy with people or without people, but go, right? The next time you're like, oh, I really want to try there, could you try it on your own, right? Oh, I really want to go there. I'll see if people want to go, right? So invite people to go. You don't have to do everything on your own, but maybe you're the kind of person that always says like, well, what do you want to do? I'll just do what anyone else does. I'm easy, I don't mind. What do you want to do, right? What makes you happy? It could be just going for a walk, it could be going to the beach, it could be going to dance classes, it could be going to the cinema to watch a movie. It doesn't really matter. It could be traveling. It's whatever makes you happy. Do it. Pour into you. The more you pour into you, the less bullshit you will tolerate from other people. When you start actually raising the standard for yourself, which we'll do an episode on, but when you start allowing yourself to do the things that make you happy and you pour into you, right, you will not tolerate less from other people. Because if you're waiting for people to do things that make you happy, if you're waiting for a romantic relationship before you allow yourself to do X, Y, and Z, if you're waiting to have friends before you allow yourself to do X, Y, and Z, like you could be waiting forever. You get one life, right? You get one precious life. You've got to live it to the fullest. And that means pouring into you first and actually doing the things that make you happy, allowing yourself to be happy. And so being a victor of your life and not a victim. It's so easy to fall into a victim of, oh, well, I really want to do that, but I've got no one to go with. Go. Just do it yourself. Well, I would be happy if, no, be happy now. Happiness is a choice. Tune into the frequency of gratitude, right? What can you be grateful for now? Why are you waiting for external circumstances? Why are you waiting for happiness to be over there when happiness is right here? Happiness can be cultivated. You can leave this episode feeling really happy, right? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down at least 10 things that you're grateful for, and I want you to really tap into those. And then I want you to say, right, you know what is something that is going to make me happy, right? What is something that I want to do that is going to make me happy? What are you going to do this week? What's the thing that you are going to do? Whether it's on your own or with someone, what are you going to do? I want you to go and do it because you deserve to be happy, but only you can give yourself a happiness. So, what's one thing that's going to make you happy? What's one thing that you want to do? Stop waiting for something in order for you to allow yourself to experience your life, for you to love your life, for you to be happy, right? Choose happiness right now. So that is a wrap for this week's episode of Becoming Her, all about how to be happy, right? So make sure to go into this next week, like pouring into you, bringing your energy back. When you catch yourself putting your energy outside of you and you feel, you can tell so easily, right? Because when you are connected, you'll feel calm, you'll feel regulated, you'll feel peace, you'll feel happy, you'll feel joy. And when you start putting your energy outside of yourself, that's when you are casting your energy away from you and it goes into that separation, and you'll feel anxiety, you'll feel fear, panic, all of the negativity, right? Quote unquote negativity emotions. So bring your energy back to you and do things that make you happy this week. And let me know in the comments, right? Like comment below and let me know what is it that you are going to do this week that makes you happy. Hold yourself accountable, right? Now be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I totally appreciate all of the love on these podcast episodes. And until then, keep becoming her, and I will see you next week. Bye.